First of all, good morning and welcome to everybody here this morning. You're very good to trudge out in this wonderful Irish weather, although it's probably more typical than we might like to admit. This, I think, is our second tech forum here in Dublin. The last one was in the iconic Croke Park, so I'd like to welcome you all here. Most particularly our speakers from Axel Ostrashida, Martin Farrow from Soapbox, and Ben Wainwright from Bolton. Phil Ritchie, our very own Phil Ritchie, will be speaking later on. I'm actually really interested to hear what it is that he does, because we really do have a packed agenda for you here today. Although, interestingly enough, the feedback from earlier forums was that you wanted more networking and more discussion time and less presentations, which did actually validate the thinking behind the concept of Think Global Forums, which was we wanted to bring people together with relevant experience within the industry to provide thought leadership for our industry. So I think we might have got it right. Currently, the concept of thinking globally, particularly within Europe, may seem a little bit out of step. Politically, there are events afoot that wouldn't necessarily gel with the concept of globalization. I think a lot of the political discourse that's going on at the moment has highlighted, I think, divergent views on the impact of globalization at an international level, certainly. How that plays out, we have yet to see. However, I think it is important to note that a lot of the commentary, the majority of the commentary, is around the impact of globalization, not on the reversal of it. Globalization is a fact of life now, I think. And personally, I think on balance, it has been a very positive development. Now, as I say, globalization, I believe, is a fact of life. It is driven by consumer desire for parity of treatment and parity of choice, and that's whether the consumer is an individual or a business-to-business person. They want that parity regardless of borders, and they're not going to roll back on that. Now, the successful players on a global stage are those that identify that and that fulfill that need. And if they do, their customer base will reward them richly. Now, a key step in being able to do that is being able to work in a timely and scalable fashion, right? Scalability is crucial in this. Now, that's where technology comes into play. We can't do that without technology. Technology is a key facilitator of a company's ability to win globally. However, in of itself, it isn't sufficient. If you want to win globally, and if you want to be successful globally, you have to be able to interact with your customer base in a way that is meaningful to them and impactful for you. And this is where the linguistic piece comes into play. Okay? You have to have that bit right. If you don't interact with your customers in a way that is meaningful to them, you're toast. If you get it right, you can become a global winner in a really short space of time. In earlier years or in earlier versions of industrial revolutions, companies took years to dominate their markets. Now it's months, years even. Uber is my favorite example of that. Now, from a Vistatec point of view, what can we do around that? Well, we have a proven track record in providing linguistic solutions for world-class global players. We have a technology strategy that is based solely and purely around customer needs. We don't mind where it comes from. If it suits your needs, we will put it in place for you. We have technology teams in place that will build linguistic solutions for you. We are even involved in the setting of standards at a European Union level. I also believe we are involved in providing free solutions to the industry through open source models. Thanks very much, Phil, for that. I'm delighted to be giving stuff away for free. So, in terms of a globalization strategy, Vistatec can help provide a foundation for that globalization. With respect to technology, I think it's fair to say we are in unprecedented times, both at an industry and a personal level. Technology is touching our lives in more and more facets on a daily basis. It really is hard to fathom how fast that has moved. Like from turning on your kettle to your fridge to artificial intelligence. The pace of technology is relentless, I believe. Now, within our own area, we've seen machine translation, machine learning, artificial intelligence. So at every turn, the development and pace of technology has been astounding, I think, and it continues. Every week there's another piece of software out there, there's another solution, and we have to keep pace with that. From a linguistic perspective, okay, the thing about the linguistic perspective for me is the scale and growth of content and users, right? And if you'll just indulge me for a second. Earlier in the week, we were having a chat with a customer in the office, and he wanted to look at a dialect of a language, okay? Not a core language, just a dialect. And we said, that's fine, absolutely, we can do that. And we felt that the dialect was quite remote, okay? But this customer was able to prove statistically that at a base minimum, there was 100 million users, right, for that one dialect. So in terms of where globalization can go and where it is going to go, you know, we haven't reached peak globalization, in my view, by a country mile. There is a very long way to go, and there is everything to play for. So I believe in terms of globalization and where we can go, there are a huge number of challenges out there for us, very exciting. I think there's a long way to go and everything to play for. Okay, that's the end of the gospel. It is a pleasure for us to be involved in these forums. From a professional perspective, I think it is a matter of pride for us to see the level of interest and participation in the forums. We are really pleased about that. Lastly, if you don't mind, I'd just like to mention that the Think Global Forum Awards are open for nomination. This is our second year, and we hope that you will all participate and nominate. And as they say here, vote early and vote often. Okay? I hope that you have a very productive and informative day, and that you manage to network and go away slightly better informed than perhaps you arrived, maybe even a bit prior to. Thank you very much.